And welcome back to NoFreeDrinks. Today's topic, what or when is the right time to have sex for the first time with that person?
ASAP.
So I think there's a lot of different schools of thoughts on this one. We were inspired by this topic because of that 90-day rule that's in that book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
Fuck Steve Harvey.
He's the author of the book. But I just got thinking about it, and it's like 90 days is a fucking long-ass time.
That's way too long.
That's 3 months. That's probationary time for when you start a new job. Fuck all that.
So, I mean, I know some people think, hey, it's better to wait it out. It makes things less complicated. But my perspective is women have needs too. Why are you making yourself suffer? So I think there's probably other ways to think about judging someone's character or even defining what the nature of that said interaction is going to be. I don't know. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's episode. And I'm just going to share my thoughts on it. It's just, if I like you, we fucking. Like.
Amen, Lena.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you're cute and I'm feeling you like that, I don't need no sort of keep you around forever. I just want to enjoy the moment. And if it's meant to be something more after we have sex, then it's meant to be something more. So that's probably a little non-traditional in terms of how other women might think about it. It's like if you hold out the cookie or hold out sex, it's supposed to work in your benefit. But I actually like to hear guys' perspective on the holding out and this waiting period and how you guys actually think about it.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. I don't think it helps nor hurts you. A couple of my exes, we've had sex on the first date, and it wasn't like, should I date her? We had sex on the first date. You're not having sex by yourself, so it doesn't help. Like you, like, well, like whatever. Like you had a good time. You're bonding. You trust each other. You're vibing. Like I don't understand the whole need to like wait by whatever a certain date, the third date, or a certain amount of time, 3 months. And I think another thing that we don't think about if you are trying to be serious is sexual compatibility. Like
There you go.
True,
like sexual
so
compatibility is huge. Like we underestimate that. We just think like, oh, 2 people having sex is going to be amazing. No, a lot of times it's not amazing. Like we all remember like whatever best sexual experiences. You're like, damn, that was good. Like that was good for whatever reason, XYZ reason. That was good, and that's huge. So I think that's another big component. Like you gotta just figure it out. Let's go for it. Like. Worst case scenario, all right, sex was whack. Probably won't do that again. But sex
Save
is
yourself
amazing.
some time.
Yeah, exactly. Figure it out early.
All right. Look, man, here's the thing. This is what I think about it. It doesn't matter if you have sex on the first date or if you have sex 90 days after. If he doesn't like you and he just wants to have sex with you and that's it, that's what is going to happen. So with that being said, I don't understand what's the holdout for. Me personally, it's me 3 dates like minimum. If we don't do anything, we don't vibe like that, then I'm just gonna keep it moving. But everybody has their holdout thing, like, oh my god, I need to wait a certain amount of time, and I think society tells you like, oh, at least for women, if they give it up at as early as possible, first, second date, that they're considered like sluts and hoes and things like that. Nah, I don't subscribe to that. It's like, look, you got needs, I got needs. Let's just work it out. So,
Yeah, I would say I agree. In my first relationship, I waited a year to have sex with a guy. But,
no.
I mean, I was also in high school, so
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
you didn't give us the context. Sorry about that.
It's like, oh shit.
Not condone
This is-
underage boning.
We don't condone any underage shit on this podcast. I'm just putting that out there right now.
No, but it was very much the reason I held out so long was because there was this notion around, hey, you're a lady, you're not supposed to be having sex out of wedlock. I mean, I talked about this in our first episode that it was being raised in this Catholic family, this religious family, and there's these notions of that are imposed on you and when you're supposed to have sex for the first time, which is like when you're married. And I'm sitting there having urges to do it, but I'm conflicted with what I've been taught and then thinking about the right time. So like, I know that's like a really, really old example, but that is an example of how religion, societal norms that you grow up with, that you hear of, influence how you think about these things.
Yeah.
So fortunately for myself and really coming into my own womanhood and who I am, I figured out that after that first boyfriend and us having sex and it being really, really bad, and I didn't have anything to compare it against, but I just thought, I don't think it's supposed to be this good, like this bad. I think it's supposed to be better. And sort of like that curiosity of like actually finding a better like sexual experience, that I decided, okay, well, let's just see how it goes with this guy. And I had this I still held on to this whole holding out rule. And with the second guy that I was seeing, I held out about almost 3 months.
Damn.
But it was still like, I really want to do this, but I can't because society says that I can't, or like standards say that I can't, or some other person was saying that I could. I didn't even know how to characterize that person. I just know that there was this being telling me, don't be like a floozy and go fuck right now, even though that's really what I want to do. I just want to have sex and see if it was good with this guy, because it wasn't with the last guy. And eventually I got to the point where I was just like, the fuck am I waiting for? I like this guy. It looks like he has a big dick. Let me just fuck him. Like,
he wore them gray sweatpants.
Nothing to the imagination.
Well, whenever you're like bumping and grinding in the club, and if you twerking it right, you know you're gonna excite some people. So I'm just saying. So eventually, that's where my comfort level was, and again, it's all unique to who you are, but it's really thinking for yourself and thinking about your desires, your experiences, what you want out of it, and sort of coming to terms without thinking about what somebody else might think or what was imposed on you or some other point of view that didn't generate itself innately from within you.
Yeah, and I think, you mentioned societal norms a couple times. And I think it's unfortunate there are like gender biases with that. For as guys, you kind of like, your goal per se is to count up, like, all right, how many people can I sleep with? So it's like the higher the better. Whereas women, the opposite is true. It's like, I don't want my number to be so high. So it's like, is these conflicting,
you've got to be a modern age Casanova,
goals, which is like, end of the day, like none of that matters. Like if you really like someone, like obviously I'm not saying have sex on the first day all the time. If you want to do that, more power to you. Yeah. Sex will probably cure a lot of stuff out here. A lot of happier people will probably be better for the world. But yeah, like if you're vibing with someone and date is going well, and then you're like in your head like, well, it's the first day, I gotta wait. Like just be natural, go with the flow, and things it'll be fine.
Well, I will say this though. Society puts a lot of pressure, not really on so much on men. As a matter of fact, I remember growing up as a kid, I was 16, 17 years old, being ridiculed because I didn't smash an X amount of number of chicks or whatever. And I remember that, and the reason why like that sticks with me a lot of times is that, when it's something when guys clown you about it because it's just all good and fun. I wouldn't say it's all good and fun, but it's just like they're clowning you. But when women say it, and when I was in high school, I've had women say, oh, you don't get no girls. You're not hitting that, blah, blah, blah. It's something different when they kind of accentuate this societal norm, air quote, that by the age of 17, I'm supposed to have this X amount of women under my belt, and I don't because I'm too focused on like my aunt not beating my ass because I didn't get an A.
What happened to these 3 points?
Yeah.
97.
Yeah, what the hell? By the way, I grew up in a Caribbean like household, so like you don't bring an A home. That's your ass.
Same here. Yeah.
So yeah,
if you didn't do the extra credit, you're like, wait, hold on, 100 points plus is 5 extra points,
and you didn't get the 5.
so true.
Yeah.
My parents were like that a lot too.
So I don't know. It's one thing when it's one gender saying something, but it's another thing when that another gender says the same thing, and it's just like, oh, well, do I really have to be that person, that guy that goes out and has sex with random women, even though we're all in the same walks of life? We have parents. We don't pay bills. And plus, I'm not trying to get nobody pregnant out here, so that's another thing too. As a kid growing up, that's just me.
Well, yeah, but I guess like really thinking within the context of now that that we've interacted with more people, we've been in relationships, we've done the dating, we've done the friends with benefits.
Right.
I think a lot of people have the perception, and I think it's for both men and women may have this perception about men, is that men are always just out there to have sex. So is that what do you think about that in your experience?
So I'll give competing experiences in my life. I love to have sex. Sex is amazing when done with a competent partner and someone, and if you like the person a lot, like that helps even more, like that connection with that person. So I will say it's up there, it's top of mind. But to contrast with that, the first time I had sex was college. So it wasn't like I started at a young age. It was like from the get go, like, all right, cool, cheek. Like, it's like I was more focused, like, so I came from Catholic Caribbean household as well. So it's always about education. Get the grades up, volunteer, study for this test. So I didn't care. You could call me a nerd. Nerds get money. So I was like, whatever.
That's
I'm
right.
focused on getting to school I want to go to for as free as possible. And once that happened, then I started focusing on girls and dating. So in hindsight, it's worked out perfectly. Like, so yeah, I didn't have sex till college, and then ever since then, it's been nice. Like, so I don't think it matters when you start. Like, you ebbs and flows. So
Yeah, that's true.
that's just my 2 cents on that.
I mean, I don't know. For me, it was kind of. I just never put like a lot of emphasis. I mean, granted, I did lose my virginity while I was in high school. I didn't really put a lot of emphasis on sex until probably college. I mean, I'm the same as you, probably college. Sex was just something, like, oh, I'm a virgin, get it over with. And I was horrible. And to the point where it was so horrible, like, it almost like said, do I really want to fucking do this? I was like, it ended up being that bad. I was just like, with the person that I was with too, it was back of a truck, and it was,
Oh my God.
Sounds like a bad movie.
yeah, it does sound like a bad
Lifetime.
movie. Lifetime. The life of Wesley Walton. So basically, it was until like college that I really started experiencing what sex really was and what it looked like and how good it could really feel with a competent partner, as you said, Brock. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's all about compatibility. I agree. And I don't want to waste my time with someone that I'm not going to be sexually compatible with in the long term. So I would rather find that out sooner rather than later. And I mean, kudos to women that decide to be celibate, that
Until they're
decide
married.
that they're not going to have sex until they get married.
Yeah.
Dude, you're committed to that forever. But then I think that's also very biased from my perspective, where I value sex a lot in a relationship. You can't, if you have whack sex, it's not going to be a relationship.
Nah.
I can't do it. And same, like, I respect like people who either hold out until they're engaged or a certain amount of time until marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I
I can't do it.
Yeah, I respect that notion, wait till, marriage or when engaged or whatever to do it. But for me, I got a high libido. I like sex. And if we don't have sex, like if we get together and this shit starts to, how you get to the beginning, I call it the honeymoon phase. You get together with this girl or get together with the guy, you guys having sex all the time. Boom, 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 boom. And then the shit starts to fucking taper off. And you really notice it. You're like, wait, is this honeymoon shit really over? Then you got to deal with the harsh realities of life and being with this person for a relationship. Then shit starts to get on your nerves a little bit more and stuff like that. Nah, I got high libido. Look, like there's nothing that you can do. And like you said, things about, not things, but like you said about if everybody has sex a little bit more, people would be very
like
happy.
You feel so much happier after.
Yeah.
Like, just get that angry. I'm like, oh, sigh of relief.
I usually take very good naps after.
So you're like a guy, right? Like, why does
that have to be a guy thing?
So like,
I think scientifically, we just
have sex and then you just
releases
you pass out.
Chemicals that makes us fall asleep after.
So wait, women can't fall asleep after
No,
sex?
you guys get actually more energetic after.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Orgasm.
Oh,
Whereas men,
I gotta
fall
do
asleep.
everything.
I mean,
I gotta read this report to write on.
if it's done right, like I pass out.
Shit.
If it's not done right, then I have to go for like round 2 and 3.
Round
and then
2.
at that point, I've had men tell me that I'm thinking about sex too much.
Wait,
No such thing.
is that a thing?
Apparently.
Fuck.
But then that's why I didn't fuck with them no more. I was like, all right, if you can't really put it down and then you don't want to go for round 2 or 3, like this is done.
Okay, so next year, in your experience, like, who are the guys that are saying, "Oh, you think about sex too much"?
What do you mean? Like, who are they?
Like, oh, okay, you can't really name names, but like, who are, like, what kind of personalities do they have? Physical attributes that they have?
It's really been interesting because there's been men that are very career oriented, and it's been men that don't really have much going on.
Okay,
so I don't think it's.
You don't think it's like
I don't
there's
think
no
it's a personality
trait?
thing. I think it's probably, I don't know, maybe they have lower libidos, or maybe they have some sort of negative association with too much sexual contact. I don't know.
Damn, that's the thing?
I don't know.
For real?
I don't. In my experience, I feel as though we're in the minority when it comes to wanting to have sex a lot for whatever reason, which is kind of frustrating at sometimes. But yeah, I don't think most people like to have sex that often. And I brought it up with friends, significant others, friends' wives and husbands, and
Jesus Christ. Who
it's
are these sexist beings out here, and how can I avoid them?
Yeah, and so it's like I wish there was like a club where like, hey, we like to have sex type things. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's tough, and like when I'm dating someone, you guys can talk about this in a little bit. When I'm dating someone, my personal preference is to have sex about 2 to 4 times a day.
God damn. I
It's
like that shit.
Go to bed at least one time before you go to bed. Morning sex is one of the best sex out there. And then probably wake up at some point in time, middle of the night, have sex again, and some other random time.
Hey.
Like after work.
Yeah, like 2 to 4 times a day. Like it's
When you wake up in the morning.
bonding experiences.
Bonding experience. Hashtag bonding.
That's why you need that compatibility, because otherwise you're not going to want to have sex that much.
Right.
It should be fun for
It should
both.
be fun,
Exactly.
yeah.
Otherwise,
Definitely.
it'll feel like a chore. Like you want it to be like, oh yes, looking forward to that. Like,
That's why I've never understood, like, when you read, like, these magazines that said that we have to schedule sex, that's kind of, it's a little, I don't know, it's a little off for me, because it's just like, you can't schedule, I don't know.
How much time do you dedicate to it?
Yeah,
like 15 minutes?
15
like
minutes.
30 minutes?
30 minutes. Like, if you don't come in 30 minutes, like, you just got to get up off me because I got a meeting to go to. Like, how does that work?
I don't know.
I think you could schedule it if you have like kids and stuff, because that's like a
like
yeah,
that,
yeah. But like if you're 2 consenting adults that live together and you really don't have someone to take care of, then that shouldn't really be the thing.
Yeah. So, but I think that what's the big takeaway from our conversation is that we've learned that we're also people that are very high sex drive, very comfortable with our sexualities, expressing what we need. But for our listeners out there that may not be at that point, I think we also should give them some tidbits of advice around how can they manage through that. Because I think a big part of both your own identity as well as your sexual identity and being with somebody else is just being comfortable in your skin and what you like or don't like sexually, and then communicating that.
That's true. I would say that, there's some people there's certain things that people do during sex that may be off-putting to the partner. I don't know, that might be one thing. Another thing is, like you said, they're not comfortable in their own skin. I guess do what makes you confident in yourself. You know, like you gotta always reassure yourself of certain things that you do within life. I don't think sex should be like the one thing where you don't do that, especially here in the USA. So where everything's always taboo and all that garbage. So
yeah, I don't think you should feel as though you had to have sex to get the guy, get the girl. And then I was just thinking about this just now. So like ways, I guess, decrease that pressure on yourself, like just for like a first date, maybe do like lunch instead of like bar, where you like feel as though, oh, if I go to the bar with him or her, we're doing drinks, and then we may kiss, and then he or she may expect to go back later. Like if you feel as though you don't want to even put yourself in that situation, do like whatever, do a museum date or a lunch date where it's a little bit more light, no libations involved, so just make yourself comfortable. I'm sure they'll enjoy your company as well. So that's, you could do alternatives to that. It doesn't always have to be, I feel as though our like default is to always going to a bar, going to a restaurant, like there's always alcohol involved. If sex is something that you feel as though the other person, I don't know, or you just feel people in general want early on, but you're not comfortable with that, but you don't want to bring that up, you could like tailor your dates to stuff like that, where the odds of that added pressure is very limited.
Right.
I think it also gives you a way to know the person a little bit better in a different situation, which may actually help you decide if, hey, is this somebody that I want to be intimate with? But I don't think it should be a mind game with rules and timelines established. And I mean, if you're the type of person that you know for sure based on your beliefs that you're not ever going to be physically with someone, then that's something that like you communicate when the time is right. I think maybe once maybe if it's the guy or the girl that's trying to make it more sexual, then you just talk about it and say, hey, like I'm noticing this, and actually I believe in not really, like I'm celibate. I don't believe in having sex while we're dating or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, I don't think there should be all this pressure around it. It's either you're ready and you do it and you don't worry about, judgment or repercussions from others, or you're just not that type of person and you communicate that if you feel that the other person is sort of leading you in that way.
Right. So what do you say to the listeners out there? Okay, I got a situation. I won't tell the story, but basically what do you say to the person who I told you this story, who basically says, oh, I didn't really want to do this on the first date or the second date in this.
You mean girls that say, I don't usually do this, but
yes,
I think that's bullshit.
I've heard that so many times. Like why even? I feel as though it's worse when you point that out, because in our mind we're just like bullshit. Yeah, like it happened already. It happened. It was either good, average, or bad. No need to draw additional attention to it about this fairyland where you never have sex on the first or second or third date. Like
Fairyland.
Like people have sex. It's normal, whether for pleasure, whether for procreate. People have sex. Like no need to classify or defend why you just had sex.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that comfort, confidence, but also not caring about how you're going to get judged, because I think sex and sexuality is a personal thing, and it's something that you're opting to share with someone else. And if you feel like you have to give that disclaimer, it's almost giving me the message that it's sending across to me is that you're not comfortable in really engaging in that activity with me.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe you probably should, if you're saying that, maybe you should take a step back from doing something that day, because you shouldn't be making excuses for it.
For why you're engaging in that kind of activity. Yeah, that's true.
Now, here's another question I have for you guys. Do you feel as though you can teach is a little bit of a strong word, but you can, I guess, mentor your partner into having better sex? Like if the sex was bad originally, let's say like everything else is amazing, but the sex was just bad. Like what do you do? Like
he tried to bite your clit. He tried to stick it in your butt instead of your vagina. Like, you ain't expecting it in your butt because we don't know who likes anal out there.
Usually, when that stuff has happened, it's a showstopper. But it's because it's not someone that I was vested in that way. It was somebody that I just wanted to physically be with, but personality wise, chemistry wise, there was nothing there. I do think that if you have a more personal connection with someone, that you either care for them or you want to be friends with them and you happen to be friends with benefits, or there's some sort of other emotional tie. It doesn't have to be that you're in a relationship, but if there is that type of relationship that develops from it, I think that there might be an opportunity to be a little bit more patient, or maybe to reset your own expectations of that. Assuming it's not in a relationship and then you're going out and cheating. But I think that there's potentially, if you have the patience for it, for you to be able to do that, if you care that much for that person. But if I don't give a shit, I'm leaving. So it's like, it's more of that, what do you want to invest your time in? And is this really compatible? Do you think it's compatible in the long run? Because sometimes, like you said, it's like, it's just not, you're not meant to be together in that way. And if it's something that's really important for the one person, it's never going to be on the same field, on the same like playing field, because expectations are just mismatched.
I will say this though. I think it's easier when a woman tells a man like, hey, you're doing this wrong and that wrong. When it's from a man coming like, and I'll probably reiterate what I'm saying right now. When it's a man saying it to a woman, it's a little harder because there are a lot of, I'm generalizing here and I shouldn't be. There are a lot of women who take things very personally. A lot of times when you say that they're not doing something the right way, they either get angry. Well, actually, that's really it. They just get angry. So with that being said, it's a little harder. Like for me, for instance, I would kind of, while we're doing it, kind of guide the person in the direction that I would want them to go, rather than just outright say, you're not doing this the right way, or you're not doing that the right way. Just kind of say, you know, hey, I like this a little bit better than what you're doing right now. Kind of like that positive reinforcement thing that goes on with that. And I have had like 2 people who I've had to do that to. But that's with experience, though. That's not something that you just, you know, let me tell you something right now. 18-year-old Wesley and, you know, my age right now, 2 different people. 18-year-old Wesley would have been like, stop it. You're doing this the wrong way. I got to stop you right now. This is not doing anything for me. You chewing on my nuts, not helping me get off right now.
Wow.
My age right now, I ain't telling you my age because fuck y'all. I ain't telling y'all my age.
He's old as dirt.
I'm old as fuck. I'm old as fuck. Not terribly old, but now I'd be like, rather than you chew on them, how about you do this? I like that better. And she's like, oh, okay, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. And you'll find that it's a lot easier to kind of guide that conversation rather than say, stop it. This does nothing for me. Because then that is a showstopper. When she's fine and she's cute and she's doing some reckless ass stuff to your genitals, bro.
You got one set genitals.
Yeah, for real. Like, that is not cool. Instead of saying some bullshit, just be like, look, it hurts a little bit, but this is what you can do to make it not hurt. Bingo.
That's also the ironic thing about sex. Like when everyone first has sex the first time, it's always terrible.
Yeah.
You get better with time. So like, it's weird. Like, if it's taboo for you, the only way to get better is to have it, but you don't want to have it. So it's like,
yeah,
so like, what do you do?
Conflict.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
So that's tough.
Yeah.
But that goes back to the confidence piece, too. I think if you're confident enough to say to yourself, I actually do want to improve this, then you know that you either find someone that you trust, that you're willing to be fuck buddies with, or I guess, I don't know.
That's a discussion that you need to have with the person in question, too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, it's going to be unique to whoever that person is.
And body image, like, I'm sure that may come up in certain people's mind because you're naked, lights may be on or off, but
I've been with some girls like, they had their shirts on. I mean, like, that's crazy to me. Or they have their bra on. It's just like, come on. Like,
so
I want to see them titties. Like, what the hell?
I hate having sex with the lights off. It's the worst.
I don't have a preference, although I have left my socks on a couple times.
Yeah, I do the sock. You think?
And it's bothered people. I'm like, I'm cold, man.
I do the sock thing for two reasons. Number one, I do the sock thing because, number one, it's cold. And number two, like, if we having sex on bare wood floor, it gives me traction. So I don't slip all over the place. I don't want to break my dick inside you. So
it's better remove. Like,
yeah.
Maybe stabilizes.
Some veteran
socks.
tricks over here.
So I guess if we had to recap everything for everyone, because the main topic was like when the right time is to like have sex.
Right.
So I think it goes, at least for me, my main takeaway and my main opinion is you really need to think for yourself what you need and have confidence in yourself and really be comfortable expressing what you think. Like, don't feel pressured. Don't feel that if you want to have sex that you can't because of whatever other people have said. So it's really just develop your point of view on it. And I think it's going to vary on a case by case basis because chemistry and attraction, all of that always changes depending on the person that you're with. But I don't think that it should be something that's kind of like you feel like you're being put to shame because of it. So just really think it through, like know yourself, know your preferences, and just go after it and own it.
Agree.
I agree with that. Definitely agree. All right, guys. So let us know what you think. When do you have sex? Actually, you know what? Before I even say that, let me break this down. What was I going to say? Damn it. Now I forgot. All right, whatever. I fucked this up. Anyway, look, just let us know what you think. When do you think is the right time to have sex? Whether it's the first night or 90 days or whenever you want. What do you feel comfortable with? What's the stretch of time along with the person too? What do you think is the right personality to have sex with? All right.
Well, thank you for joining us at No Free Drinks. Visit our website, NoFreeDrinks.com. You can fill out our Contact Us form for any topics or thoughts or anything that you want to listen to us talk about. And also follow us on social media. Instagram is _NoFreeDrinks. Facebook and Twitter at NoFreeDrinks. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.